If you're looking to beef up your IT skills, consider joining ITPro.tv, my favorite online training provider. They have thousands of hours of content for everything IT related. Use the coupon code ITCQ30 and you can save 30% off your premium membership. Please check out the link in the description below. If you have questions about getting into IT, consider joining our Discord server. We have hundreds of people there just like you who are starting their careers in IT, and they can help answer any questions that you may have, and I'll be there to help answer questions as well. Links in the description below. I can't wait to see you there. If you're looking for a step-by-step training guide on how you can get started in IT, check out our first official training course at www.itcq.tv. This step-by-step course will not only show you the skills and knowledge that's needed to get an entry-level IT job, but it'll also show you how you can gain an advantage. Check out the link in the description of this live stream, and thank you so much for your support. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think you can hear me now. I hit the button on my mic. My bad. Oh. That YouTube delay. All right. We got it? It looks like it's working now. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me now? I'll wait for the chat because there's like a 25-second delay. No, I know there's no better. Yeah. Marker and paper. We good? Yeah, all right, there we go. All right, yeah, so I'm on, as the stream says, I'm hosting COVID. I'm having a COVID party at my house right now, and only 3 out of 6 of us were infected with the COVID. So myself, my wife, and my youngest child, my 1.5-year-old child, we all have the COVID. My 3-year-old, my 13-year-old, and my 9-year-old do not have COVID, which is so weird because, you know, we all live here and share things together and whatnot. But, yeah, I'm on day number 6. 2 days ago, I completely lost my sense of taste, completely lost my sense of smell, which is absolutely crazy. Unbearable at times, like just body aches and pain. Like so much so that I just literally have to lay down on the floor and like try to stretch or something because it hurts so bad. Oh, it hurts so bad. Anyways, though, like other than that, like, and dizziness, lots of headaches, lots and lots of headaches and dizziness, like nausea, lots of nausea, which is the weirdest part, I think, to me. Like just constantly feeling like I'm gonna like be sick. It's really weird. But you know, I'm breathing, I'm living, which is great. Everybody else is doing great, which is good. But I honestly cannot believe I got it. I tried so hard. You guys don't understand. Like I tried so hard not to get it, and it just came through our household like wildfire, basically, almost wildfire. But yes, I'm good. I start my new job next week. I was supposed to start my new job last week. However, yeah, we all, with the COVID stuff, like a bad hangover. Yeah, it is actually kind of like a hangover. Am I self-isolating? Well, I mean, can't really isolate considering like my kids need their parents and both of their parents have COVID. You can't really isolate from that. There's nothing you could really do. The health department was like, yeah, you guys are screwed. We're like, yeah, we know. Like, that's all right. It's just crazy that our 3-year-old, he's been with us every single day since we've obviously had it, and he does not have any symptoms. And we got him tested, and he does not have it, which is just mind-blowing to me. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. But we're doing all right. I mean, I'm feeling better than when I did when I kind of first started with it. It's still just like random bits of pain, like just sore. Like, I don't know. It's just so hard to describe. But anyway, hopefully next week, well, this coming Wednesday, I'll be starting my new job, which I'm super stoked about. I'm just super upset that I didn't get to start because COVID and whatnot. You know. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are all Rona free. I hope. I need to change the color on this chat box thing. Why is it like that? Can I change the font color? Because that would be really cool if I could. Boxed. That's a little bit better, I guess. I don't know. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the well wishes and everything like that. I really do appreciate that. James, you were laid off in March after working for 13 years at Unisys. Had a couple of interviews, didn't get a job. Now working at Amazon Delivery Packages, entry-level IT job, wanted to pay me $13 an hour. Sounds about right for entry-level IT job in some places. IT Security Labs, how you doing, bro? Yeah, the health department was like, yeah, you guys are screwed. That's so American. It definitely is so American. The only reason why they basically said it that way was because with me and my wife both having COVID, we can't really send our kids anywhere, and like the people that we could send our kids to, like, they have COVID. That's how we got COVID. We got COVID from my mother-in-law, well, from my father-in-law, basically. And that's like our backup. We're like when we need somebody to watch our kids. So, and nobody's gonna take our kids or take the ones that aren't sick. So, so crazy, so tired. I got the headache coming on right now. It's terrible. But here I am. What's my new job? Oh man, I haven't made an official announcement yet on anywhere except for Discord. Discord is the only place that actually knows where I'm working. That's funny. I haven't really announced it on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook. Yeah. You don't have Rona, but you wake up in constant pain. That's probably just getting old. Right? Like, that all happens to us when we get old. Wake up with constant pain. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Appreciates it. I hope you guys are all doing well, though. Like, what's been going on with all y'all? You guys been keeping busy? I've been working on a very fun and exciting project, and Kev Runs on Duncan is the man. I have to give Kev Runs on Duncan another shout out. Even though I already gave him a shout out on LinkedIn, he deserves all the shout outs, y'all. Everybody give Kev Runs on Duncan a holler. Everybody just give him like a heart emoji, because he's the best. Anyway, the new project I've been working on is a Python project, and I've been diligently going to attack at this, even while being sick with the Rona. So this Python project that I'm working on, I wanted to, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I was always like, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a programmer. I don't know how to develop anything, which isn't exactly true. But I wanted to basically build a web scraper that scrapes LinkedIn for the number of jobs for a specific topic in all of the areas. So basically, like, I wanted to scrape LinkedIn for, say, like, CCNA, right? Just search LinkedIn for CCNA, and it would show how many jobs there are for the CCNA. But what's really cool about what I wanted to do is I wanted to do it for each and every state. So if I were to search each and every state for the CCNA, like, that's what I'm looking for that requirement. People are asking for the CCNA in these job descriptions. I'm going to search every single state and get back how many jobs are listed with CCNA for each state. Now, you could do that manually, obviously. It would take you a really long time. Or you could automate it by using something like Python. And that's what I did. That was the idea. So what it does is we set it up with the help of Kev Runs on Duncan, because he's the best and I love him. we set it up so that you can you basically build a Python. Well, the Python script is built, but I won't get into all those details. Anyway, you set the parameters within your Python script for CCNA, for CompTIA, for Microsoft, for any search term that you want, and it will search all 50 states for that search term, and it comes back with a CSV file with the results, which is freaking phenomenal. Like, it's so cool. I made a video where I actually talked about what I was doing, and it was at like 2:00 in the morning, and I was like trying to like talk to myself about what the script was actually doing, and it's the funniest thing because it's like 2 in the morning and I was tired, like god awful tired, and I'm sitting here like reading the script back to myself, like looking into the camera and being like, all right, this part does this and this part does that. And it's interesting to me because I think a lot of people will find that interesting, and I'm going to share it. I'm actually going to do an entire video where I talk about the script and what it took to do. But I think a lot of you will get a lot of use out of that, just hearing from somebody who doesn't have the most experience in developing any type of scripts or applications like that, and kind of just describing what the process is, and kind of just telling you like what each little thing does in like the most simplest terms. It's really fun. It's so much fun. So like now the next part is, now we have the script working, right? So I can make lots of different variables for this script, right? So I can have it for, like I said, the CompTIA, CCNA, help desk. Like it'll search help desk, all 50 states for help desk jobs. It comes back with a number for every single state. The next thing that I'd like to do eventually is export all of that information to a database. That would be nice. Dwan Lightfoot, thank you, brother. I love you. Glad to see you up and run. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I hope you are doing well. Everybody needs to let's stop, pause. Everybody give Dwan Lightfoot a shout out. Dwan Lightfoot just got a job working for Cisco. He's working with Cisco DevNet, and I am so unbelievably proud of this guy. Like, above anybody else that I know, out of everybody I know in my entire life, nobody I know puts in work like Mr. Dwan Lightfoot. So you guys have to give him a holler, give him a shout out, give him some love, because he's put in the work and now he's working for Cisco. It's phenomenal. Like, I love you, bro. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. So please give him a shout out for working at Cisco now, because it's awesome. So anyway, with the script, I'd like to get it set up for a database. That's probably down the road. I'm not too concerned about that, but I know logically, like, that's going to be one of the things I want to do. But one of the things that I discovered with the script is that Indeed will block me because it looks like I'm trying to DDoS them. KevTech IT support, thank you, brother. I appreciate that super chat, man. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, so logically it would be importing that or exporting all of that to a database so that I could make very pretty files with it or pretty graphs with it. That'll be down the road. But Indeed doesn't like when you DDoS them, surprisingly. Like, you know, when you're running like 50 searches in the matter of like 7 seconds, they block you. They say, screw you, Zach. You can't do that no more. So I had to set up the script so it'll actually... It picks a random number between like 2 and 5, I think it is, and it'll wait that many seconds before it scans the next search term, which is really cool. But the next thing that I'm working on is I'm actually building a VM. So I completely rebuilt another machine that I have to be another, basically a server farm, not really just a VM farm. And I'm gonna set it up so that this new machine that I have that's running VirtualBox, we're going to set up a task, and we're going to try to make that task random, right? We're going to make sure, like, we're going to have this task set to run at, like, midnight, right? Every night, the task will run at midnight, but we're going to set a random delay time, so that delay time could be anywhere from, like, 10 minutes to, like, 3 hours before it'll actually run the script. And that's the script will be running, you know, the scraping of Indeed. And we're going to set this to do it like every single day because we're going to do multiple search terms. But basically, the whole point of it doing it random is so that we don't have, like, so Indeed doesn't look at us and say, like, oh, every single day at this time, this IP address is scanning for this information, right? So we want to set it up as random as possible, because we don't want Indeed to, like, be mad at us for constantly scraping them. And then, eventually blocking us. So we'll try to randomize it as much as we possibly can, so that, Indeed doesn't pick up on it. I'm sure they will pick up on it eventually, and they'll probably block me anyway. But anyway, we'll probably set up like set up a VPN or some proxies once we get to that point, if they do block us. But it's really exciting. And me just telling you guys about it in a live stream does not do it justice. We're going to have an entire video where I walk you through that whole process. But it's actually really, really cool. I could pull it up and show y'all. Instead of talking about it, you guys can see it. Where's it at? Where's my... I don't know if this is going to work. Hold up. Got that headache coming in right now. Head feels like it's pounding. Shared desktop. We want this one. Want that over there? This one over there. Yes. I want this over there. There you go. How do I transition now? Transition. Here's the script right here. Automation is where it's at. That's so true. So this is just like a basic test file for the master copy. So here's what is we're importing. What are they called? My mind's going to be drawing a blank because I'm getting a headache now. Dependencies, right? Some type of dependencies, whatever. This is all the stuff that it uses. Our file name right here, we're setting the date and time for our file. So every time it creates the CSV file, it's going to create it with the name CCNA, and it's going to set the date. So it'll say the day, month, year, hour, minute that file was created. So that way, when we run this script every single day, every single file will have a different name. So it never overwrites itself. It's constantly a new file. Packages, thank you. So with this file name, with the file name CCNA with the day, month, year, hour, minute, we're going to create a new line, right? And we're going to write to that new line the information that we're going to be scraping, which is this URL right here, HTTPS, Indeed, blah, 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 jobs, CCNA. And then we have this little, what would this be called? A variable, maybe? Somebody's going to correct me. That's fine. I'm not a Python programmer. I know how to get my way around it, and I do all right. But I'm dumb when it comes to this stuff, guys. But this this goes to show you guys anybody can do this. Anyway, when it scrapes CCNA plus state, we have our states defined as Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. Again, this is just a test one. I could put all 50 states in there, and what it's going to do is it's going to scrape CCNA plus state, so it'll do CCNA plus the state of Illinois. It'll scrape every single job posting that has the CCNA in it for the state of Illinois, and then it'll do that for the state of Indiana, Iowa, etc., 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 and writes a new line every time it does it. Let me pull this up. I'll show you guys. I'll show you what that looks like if I can find my files here. Not on this one, not on this one, not on this one. Uh-oh, where did I put it? PM scraper. Nope. There we go. So this isn't the same states that I have listed in there, but you guys will get the idea, right? So when it runs the script, it exports all this information to a CSV file. So for this one, we had Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, and this was for CCNA. So if you go, this was probably like a week ago now, but if you were to search Alabama for CCNA, there's 126 results for the CCNA in Alabama. Alaska, 59 results. Arizona, 178 results. So imagine we had all 50 states, right? That's a lot of great information. Now I could do, you could do it as CCNA. You could do it as help desk. Like we could just change this to help plus desk. And if we were to run it, actually, let me rename the file here. It's going to be HD. run it, and it's going to wait its time. It's running right now. But we have the between 2 and 10 seconds, I guess, that's the random number I have. So it could take upwards of like, a minute almost to run this. So we'll wait for it to come back, and then I'll open up that file. But it's going to search for help desk on Indeed in Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. Look at, there's Illinois, 1,820 results for Illinois for help desk. And I'm sure if I move that over, Indeed, change this. So we do Illinois help desk. You see 1,820 jobs, and you see here on our script 1,820 jobs with help desk in the title. Now, these numbers are going to be a little bit skewed just because it's going to pick up on randomness, just the way that the search works with Indeed. So these numbers may not be like 100% accurate, even though like that's what it's coming up with. We're gonna have to like figure out like a little bit of room for fluctuation there, because like I said, it's probably not 100% accurate. But this is what it does. So it's pretty cool, I think. I mean, I'm gonna basically have this running every single day, right? Like variations of this script. So one day, at one point in time, it's going to search for help desk. The next day, or the next time, it'll search for CompTIA, right? And the next time, it'll search for like CEH, right? Like we could set it to do whatever we want it to do, which is, I think, pretty cool. Kevron the Nugget says, what you could do is save the random number in a variable, so then you can print exactly how long you have to wait for it to make the request. That's probably a good idea. I see, like, there's so many different ways to do this, or so many ways to just improve upon this or make modifications, which is just, it's mind-blowing to me. The whole reason why I'm bringing this up, though, and the whole reason we'll be doing a video on this, is because so many people ask about learning how to program or learning how to script. And, like, anybody can do this, I feel like. I just kind of hacked my way through this and kind of understood what I needed to along the way. But the best way to like go about learning any type of programming language is to have a project in mind. And this was my project, and this was perfect because now that I like said, okay, this is what I want to do, how can I do it? And what's the best way to do it? There's probably other ways to do it, right? We could probably use different programming languages to do this, but I wanted to learn Python. And I said, this is a perfect project for me. Bam. Dwan says, take that data and store it in an Excel or create a database using Pandas or MongoDB. Yeah, eventually I'll be putting it into a database. I'm not there yet. Like, right now I want to make sure that I can I want to get it to a point where it's doing exactly what I want it to do. And then I'll start worrying about where I put the data. Because right now, all the data is going to its own individual Excel file, which is fine. Like, I can put in all the legwork of taking that data and importing it into a system that will make the data look pretty. But eventually, like, it would be nice if all of this data went right into a database, and from there, like, whatever application we use to make the data pretty, like, just did it on its own, right? Like, that would be great. That would be ideal. We're not there yet. We're not there. But we'll be there. As you guys could probably tell, I'm like starting to get like, that's like this COVID thing, man. Like, I swear, like, 1 minute I'll be completely fine. I'll like go and like clean my entire house, right? And then like 10 minutes later, like I'll just be like dead. I'll be like so exhausted and tired. How can you learn Python? There are thousands, if not millions at this point, of like tutorial videos on the YouTube. Look into Pandas. It's in Python library. I'll look into it, man. I'll be there soon. Right now, the other thing I was working on is getting this VM ready, and I was having a lot of trouble getting PyCharm to work correctly again. But we'll get it. Here's the exported file, right? So here is the input that it spits out in the whatever you in like the terminal and the console right? I wanted to make sure like I could see what was happening. That's why it prints out in the console. So I wanted to make sure it was working, and then once it prints out or exports the CSV file, I can't talk. Dying. Yeah, the great thing about having a project is that you always have 100 ideas to improve it. And that leads you to learning more skills, for sure. Like, you guys should see how this looked. VS Code, bro? What? Why? You guys should have seen how this looked. When I first started it. It was just like it was a nightmare. And Kev can attest to that. I probably made him cringe like 1,000 times when he saw what the heck I was doing. Like, I'll pull up, yeah, here. This is like the first time. This is like, I don't know, one of the iterations that I had on how I was going to do it. Right? And basically, I'm just like copying, pasting like each and every like thing here. I don't know what it would be called, like this whole entire set of information right here. So I copy and paste this and change like CompTIA to CCNA or help desk, right? Like I would have to do this like literally, 50 times I'd have to copy and paste this. But instead, like working with Kev, we were able to simplify it. So instead of like copying, pasting all this information over and over again, we did this. Oh, VS Code over PyCharm, less headaches and all that. I could try VS Code. That's fine. I just went with PyCharm because people recommended it. But if you're recommending VS Code, I trust you, bro. NGL, you did cringe. See, Kev runs on Duncan. He did cringe. He did. I don't blame him. I would cringe too. Each def block, yeah. So yeah, I mean, you guys can see like what I was doing. Like, I was making my way through it, like based on the information that I researched, right? Because what I had to do, and God, I could probably show you that video. It's probably in Discord somewhere, actually. Hey, if you guys aren't on Discord, here's what's up. Go to the Discord. But I could probably find this video where it shows you like my search history that I had one night, like from 11 p.m. until about 2 a.m. All of my search results were like just Python. That's all that you saw for those search terms. But that's kind of how I figured out how to butcher all this together eventually. And like it works, right? Like this works. You could do it this way. Is it the right way though? No. Is that the wrong way? Is it the wrong way if it's working? Probably. It's probably wrong. But it works, right? But we made it better. Anyway. The point of it is, I'm not a programmer. But I worked my way through this. Kev definitely gave me a ton of help, which I greatly appreciate. But there was still a lot of stuff that I needed to figure out to get to work properly. And I'm super proud of myself for being able to just figure it out. If I could have recorded myself going through all of this the entire time, you probably would have seen the most ridiculous smiles on my face because I got one little thing to work, and it's the most exciting thing in the world. It's so hard to describe, going through this and trying to figure it out, and you're constantly getting errors, and then you'd make one little modification here, and you make one little mod there, and then you don't get the same errors, you get different errors, and those errors lead to eventually the result that you need to do, because you look it up and you're like, oh, okay, well, whatever error I got, you Google it, and you say, okay, this makes sense now. You start just piecing it all together, and I'm telling you, there's not many better feelings than that. Once you get rid of the errors, you run the script and it works. I just had this crap eating grin on my face because I was so incredibly happy and proud of myself. And it's something just so completely silly, right? So even something like this, anybody who is very well versed in Python, who is very good writing any types of Python scripts, it's probably really easy to do. right? This was definitely challenging for me. So to actually be able to get it to work, even with help, like even having like somebody's hand in it, but still like figuring it out, still making it work, it's the best feeling. Nobody could take that away from you. Nobody. Like I love it. So yes, I encourage people learn programming, learn scripting. It's fun. Zach Luna, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Kevron Duncan says, I spent 2 hours debugging once. You know why? One extra underscore I didn't notice was even there. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like with troubleshooting or debugging, whatever. Like there was times where probably I had everything the way that it was supposed to be. Like, you know, all the variables were right, just everything looked right, but the spacing was off. Right? Like I had too many spaces, or my indentation was wrong, and it screwed everything up. Like that was the other hardest part to like for me to figure out. It's like I know when I looked at it, I was like, this has to be right. This looks right. It looks like it's gonna work, and it was all thrown off because like indentation was just wrong. Just yeah, it's fun. It's a good time though. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Mr. Dwan Lightfoot. Thank you, Kevron Duncan. You guys are the best. I hope all of you out there are also doing fine and dandy though, and Rona free. Dwan Lightfoot is doing amazing. Dwan Lightfoot has a new job working for Cisco. Oh, sorry. He's on top of the world. Brad Patrick, you're working software support for the past 3 years. You want to move over to network or repair help desk. You're having issues putting together a resume. Suggestions? You have started your work lab. I have a bunch of videos about resume stuff. I would check that out for sure. Check out those videos. They'll help you. That's all about aligning your past experiences with your future endeavors that you're looking to go down. So you did software support for the past 3 years. You need to highlight, like, how many people have you helped on a day-to-day basis? How many open tickets do you have on a day-to-day basis? What have you improved in that time that you've worked as software support? What types of software have you supported? There's so many different ways to think about it, man. Anyway, hopefully next Wednesday, actually. Next Wednesday, I'll be starting my new job, which I'm super stoked about. Jess Neal, you have a love-hate relationship with programming. You've been on and off learning Python, Java, and C++ for the past 2 years. It's hard. That's not easy. What cert am I studying now? I'm not studying any certs right now. I'm getting ready to start a new job now. I was supposed to be taking my AZ900. That got postponed, and then it just keeps getting postponed because of everything that's going on in my life. I'm supposed to be doing my CompTIA A+ before December because I have a free voucher. I don't even know that's going to happen because I'm starting a new job. So, what is my new job? I'll put it up. You guys can see. Making big moves? I don't know about making big moves. No, we're making big moves. We're making moves. Anyway, here you go, bros and girls. I will be working for Next Gen T coming next week. I'm super stoked because the conversations that I had with these guys and girls were absolutely phenomenal. Like, the whole time I was interviewing with them, I wouldn't even say like it was an interview. Like, we were just having conversations. But throughout the entirety of the conversations that I had with all of the people that I met through Next Gen T, I had goosebumps, and they got me super excited. So, starting next Wednesday, I will be the new tech evangelist for Next Gen T, and I'm super pumped because this gives me another opportunity to help more people get into IT, and that's what it's all about. Like, that's what this is all about. That's what IT Career Questions is all about: bringing people into IT and helping them find their path, their journey, and that's what Next Gen T is all about too, is helping people launch their career. So, but what better way to help more people than to work with another organization that has the same mission and the same values that I do? It makes sense. I'm super stoked. Like, I wish I wasn't COVID sick, because I'm legitimately, like, super, super excited about this. And it's probably hard to tell, because I'm, like, sick right now. But I am super stoked. I'm very, very excited to get started. Tech Evangelist, Zach Hill, Next Gen T. That's what's up. Thank you, Dwan Lightfoot. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Zuber. Appreciate it. Sean, you're taking your Security Plus on Thursday for the 4th time. Bro, man, you just got to study, study, study. It's hard. That's not easy. That's for sure. I hope that you're taking out, you're taking each and every printout that you get that says, like, which areas you failed in, and, like, trying really, really hard to study those areas. Will the Net Plus get you out of help desk? Not necessarily. Like, you have to get yourself out of help desk. No certification is going to get you out of help desk. What do you want to do next? Start aligning your career towards what you would like to do next. Kev runs on Dougie. You know I could bring great things to them. I know I can bring great things to them too. I'm excited. Keep losing motivation. You gotta want it. I don't know. Losing motivation is hard. I feel you. I feel you. Like, that's where I was at for a long time. And then out of nowhere, like, I was like, this Python project, like, I think it's probably between the Python project and, like, the whole, like, searching for a new job, like, brought, like, motivation from nowhere. Like, it brought, like, enthusiasm, excitement. I've never been this excited about a project in my entire life. Like, both of these things. Both, like, starting a new job for a company that I truly believe in, and then starting a project. Like, that's phenomenal. Like, that, the excitement, I'm telling you, like, it's just, I don't know. Every single day I wake up thinking about both of these things. Like, this project, this Python project, and a new job. But, like, yeah, like, I don't know. You just have to find your excitement again. It's hard to do sometimes. I don't know if you can even describe it and what you need to do. I don't know. One day I just woke up and was like, I'm going to do this Python project. And then I started doing it, and I was like, I love this. It's amazing. And then I kept doing it. And here I am, like, still working on it. Like, I've been building this freaking server. It's not even a server. I call it a server. It's not a server. It's just a desktop computer. I've been rebuilding this desktop computer so that it could basically be my scraping machine, my virtualized scraping machine. So we'll see. Chris Howitt, thank you, brother. I love you. Thank you. What study resources do you recommend for hands-on learner? Are you going to go for your A+ to start and go from there? Anything that offers virtual labs. But then Professor Messer is also just a great resource because he's free, as KevTech said. What's the Python project about? The Python project just scrapes Indeed for job postings, for listings, for basically numbers. The whole idea is, like, I want to be able to go, 6 months out and be able to look at all of this data that I had scraped for the past 6 months on all these different jobs. So on help desk jobs, on networking jobs, on security jobs, and then even drill down into specific certifications. So we'll search for, like, Microsoft certs, for CompTIA certs, Cisco certs. And then I can have, like, this big data set, right? Like, I have all of this data where I can refer back to and say, okay, like, in the past 6 months, we've noticed that there's been a decline in companies looking for the CCNA, or, vice versa. In the last 6 months, we've noticed a huge increase in jobs looking for the CCNA. And then even more specifically, we could say, in the last 6 months, Washington had a decline in jobs looking for Microsoft Azure, right? And then instead we could say, instead of, like, Microsoft Azure in Washington, like, more jobs were looking for AWS certs, right? Like, that's the type of information that I want to see. So that's what makes it really exciting for me, is because it also gives me a lot of content to talk about. Like, I'll be able to make videos, hopefully, every single week where I could talk about where we've seen an uptick in specific types of jobs, or job descriptions looking for XYZ, right? That's what I want to be able to do. That way, eventually, like, 2 years down the road, I should hopefully have a huge data set to refer back to. So we could say in the last 2 years we've seen a decline in this certification, or in the last 2 years we've seen an uptick in security analyst positions. So that's what's up. Do I live in Missouri? I live by Chicago. Just want to know, is the Microsoft Azure cert or the AWS cert? What do any of them hold any significance over the other? I mean, AWS is like a monster, basically. So I get asked that type of question all the time. Is AWS better or is Azure better? And the truth of the matter is, like, I wouldn't say either one of them is better than one another. It really depends on the area that you live in and what that area is utilizing for their cloud needs, right? Like, you could say, I'm going to go get an AWS cert because AWS just dominates the entire cloud field, right? And you go out and get your AWS cert, but then you find that every single company in your area uses Azure. So what good is that AWS cert when all the organizations in the area that you live in are using Azure, right? Like, that's just kind of an example. Not saying that's going to happen. It could definitely happen. But you could definitely, like, if you live in Missouri, for instance, like somebody brought up, you could search for AWS in Missouri. And then you could search for Azure in Missouri and see which one has more results. That's a great idea, a great way to gauge, like, which one you should be going after. Now, not to say, like, just because, like, Azure, for instance, has less amount of jobs posted for that, like, that's a bad idea. We're just trying to figure out what might be the best idea. You can still go get an Azure cert if you want it, right? Like, does that make sense? Everybody has cloud. Google has the cloud. Who even uses Google Cloud Platform? Come on now. That's the funny thing about it. Like, AWS and Azure, like, that's it. Nobody hears about anything else other than those two. Anyway. It sounds like a cool project. It is a cool project. Zuber, you're trying to study Python, PowerShell, GPO, AD, Cloud and OS like Linux, Win, macOS. Will this help me in the future? Would what help you in the future? Anything will help you in the future, right? Cloud experience is cloud experience. That's true. How could you learn AWS for free? Through Amazon. Like, you could literally go sign up on Amazon Web Services for free. Get access to AWS for free. And then they also provide free training material. Docker, there's thousands of videos on the YouTube for Docker. Get at it. Yeah. Oh, man. On the AWS website, YouTube, yep. Kev runs a nugget, you're all over it, bro. Anyway. Does anybody else have anything else for me? Because I should probably be leaving. I'm starting to like get like that downward tick. That's the messed up thing about COVID, man. Like, I feel good and then I feel like blah. And the blah feeling lasts a lot longer than the good feeling. Surprise, surprise. But at least I'm still breathing and living. That's a good thing. Right? Yeah, it's a good thing. Everybody's good. Kids are good. Yeah, somebody's car alarm was going off. My bad. There's nothing I can do about that. Isn't all cloud the same like AWS and Azure? I mean, like, theoretically, sure. Kev runs on Duncan just answered it. Not the same, but similar. Sammers, what's up, Sonic? You got a question? What's your question? This will probably be the last question that I answer. How many days have I had symptoms? Like 6. 6 days. It all started with my 1-year-old. He had it first because his grandma had it. And then it just swept through our. Well, I'd say swept through our house. It didn't sweep through our house. It almost swept through our house. We almost all had it. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
I'm hoping to be better. I mean, I'll be off of quarantine next Thursday. Next Thursday, I can actually walk out into the real world again. But next Wednesday, I start my new job. Yay. I don't feel good. I really don't. Like, this is like how fast it turns. Like, I just got, like, my stomach is, like, nauseous. Like, that's, like, such the weirdest feeling. Like, because it's, like, a constant, like, throughout the day, like, just randomly, like, just nausea, like, just strikes you. And you're just like, oh, am I going to puke? Like, it's terrible. Because you don't know when it's coming. Ken Brown, thank you, sir. You had it back in August. I'm glad you recovered. Sammers says, should I have an idea of what I want to do in IT before going into IT? Is it okay to start in the entry-level role and figure out what I want to do from there? Sammers, that is, like, the best way to start in IT. Like, hands down, that is the best way to start. Like, I cannot even tell you how many, like, times I've told that to people. It's completely okay if you don't know where you want to start in IT, because once you start out in an entry-level IT, like a help desk role or any other, like, entry-level technician type of role, you get so many different things thrown your way. And then you get to learn, like, what you like and what you don't like. So yes, that's an absolutely great way to start. I encourage that. You're welcome. You're welcome, IT Security Labs. John Butler, damn sir, employed during a pandemic, out of interest, what's the new role? The new role, I will be the tech evangelist for a company called Next Gen T. Next Generation Training, yo. IT training. I'm super stoked about it. I probably don't look super stoked about it right now because I feel super nauseous right now. Just not swear. Whatever. YouTube's going to demonetize us anyway because it says COVID on it. And I said COVID like 17,000 times. Anyway, I'm going to end this stream so that I don't actually get sick. I haven't gotten sick. Like, I haven't, actually puked from being nauseous yet, which is a good thing. But the nausea is real. Not being able to smell. Can I just, before I leave, if you guys have ever gotten a cold before, right? Like, have you ever gotten sick with a cold, or, your nose is stuffed up and, you go to eat something and you're like, oh, I can't taste a freaking thing. Well, in reality, when you have a cold, you could taste things, very slightly, right? You could definitely taste something a little bit, even when you have a cold. With this, you literally cannot taste a thing. Nothing has a taste, and nothing has a smell. I could breathe just fine. I can smell or breathe through my nose just fine, but I literally cannot smell a gosh darn thing. Nothing. Can't taste a thing, can't smell a thing, and it is the weirdest thing I have ever experienced in my entire life. So completely, just weird. You couldn't smell anything for 6 months? That's terrible. But I'm telling you, you literally, there's no taste in anything, and there's no smell in anything. Not even a hint. Not even a little glimmer that you're gonna taste or smell something. It's nothing. Completely nothing. My daughter took girls and their spray stuff, their perfume spray crap, she literally sprayed it on my arm. She was like this on my arm, right? You would be able to smell the crap out of that because it's perfume stuff, right? I was smelling my arm, nothing. Nothing. It's so crazy. Anyway, thank you guys for joining this live chat today and checking in on me and making sure I'm okay. I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. We're trying to battle through this COVID. We'll get through it, I hope. Cross your fingers. Anyway, you guys have a great day, whatever day it is. I think it's Sunday. Have a great Sunday, and stay tuned. We'll be doing more stuff. Have a new video coming out at some point talking about the Python stuff. If you guys haven't, I can't talk. If you guys haven't checked out the last video that I put out for the interview,
I put a lot of work into this video. And not surprisingly, it has like no views because that's just what this channel has turned into. That's okay because I only want to help one person. If I can help one person, that's okay. I do have the COVID. Anyway, I put out this video. I'm about to pull it up right now.
Do you want to learn?
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to learn ethical hacking from you. Shh. No, stop.
Disconnects computer to hack into this one.
There we go. This video right here. Guys, if you haven't watched it yet and you need help interviewing, please watch this video. I put a lot of work into it. Like a ridiculous amount of work into it. And it's like pro tips from the very start, like before you even go into an interview. So it preps you before the interview, it preps you during the interview, and it preps you after the interview. Like step by step, everything that you need to know. Like should make you very comfortable going into an interview. Instead of being like so completely nervous, like you should be going into an interview like feeling much more confident after going through this. So anyway, thank you guys for joining. Have a great weekend or rest of your weekend, and have a great week. Next week, take it easy. Try to stay COVID Rona free because it sucks. And that's all. Thank you, Mr. Dwan Lightfoot. I appreciate you, bro. Everybody give another shout out to Dwan Lightfoot. He's the new face of Cisco. Definitely the new face of Cisco, Dwan Lightfoot, for sure. And Kev Runs on like I said, you should sub to the people you've seen here in the chat today if you're into IT. Absolutely. Subscribe to IC Security Labs. Subscribe to Kev Runs on Duncan. I don't even think Kev Runs on Duncan does anything yet, but he should because he's just wasting his true potential by not having a YouTube channel because he's very smart and intelligent and brilliant and does good things. Kev Runs on Duncan, you need a YouTube channel, bro. But anyway, subscribe to Dwan Lightfoot, Kev Tech, IT Security Labs. They're all here to help. Take it easy. Love y'all.